the government flagship programs. So listen carefully. The government flagship programs, including one village, one dam, one district, one warehouse, and infrastructure for poverty eradication program. That's what you're talking about, the IPEP. Will also be
call the 1 million per constituency.
Yes, and will also be reviewed and streamlined. I don't know what the streamline will be, but will be reviewed and streamlined. Now, Agenda 111 will be reprogrammed to be completed over 5 years, 2022 to 2027, in line with budgeted allocations to GIIF from the ABFA for health infrastructure. It is telling you the source of funding.
Yeah. So this conversation we had asked about, God knows, from the beginning of Agenda 111. Finally, it's not that we are going to borrow money for this, but it's the oil money. You know, oil money, there is an annual budget funding amount. In priority areas, sometimes we choose 4 or 5 priority areas. The health area is where we are going to get the money from. To be able to build this within the 5 years.
Within the 5 years.
So maybe when we spread it, bet 20 per year or 15 per year.
Yes.
But they want the 5 years to start from 2022.
22 to 2027.
That's problematic for me. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know the advantage of making it go back to 2022. We've done nothing. We've built nothing. So as of 2023, zero work has been done.
But in all
why
fairness,
not start?
Government has actually started construction in some areas.
In some areas, yes.
At different levels. Not, I mean, completed projects. The last time I checked, there wasn't a single hospital completed, and government admits that. But we have started to some levels. And it differs which part of the area. In fact, more than 40, and I'd seen pictures of that, had actually been started in certain areas across the country.
Okay, so because those projects have started.
So that's why we are.
So the timeline starts from 2022. Okay, that's fair. So now it's a 5-year thing. Okay, it's more realistic if you ask me.
It is, and we are admitting also that we are going to review, a lot of our programs. I mean, one village, one dam. There's a hotline documentary, Thirsty Dams.
Yes.
I mean, I ask myself that simple question: where are the dams anyway? Are they still being constructed?
The minister who was in charge of that particular ministry told everybody in this country that you said you wanted a dam. You gave me money for a dugout. How else were you going to actually, what were you expecting me to do differently? Public video, available to everybody. That clarity was given. So later on, when we're told about dams failing and all of that, I actually think we didn't, and irrigation has been a major problem. Anybody who's studied any form of agriculture at all, you'll be told how irrigation is part of the biggest problems we have on our hands today, because we are rain-fed predominantly, and being rain-fed is problematic because you can't do all year-round farming. So to solve that problem, that's why we needed these dams, first and foremost. So it's not as if we did not need them, but how to implement that program properly, and what modules to use is why we use the wonderful one village, one dam, and that's where we are today anyway.
The big problem is how these projects are supposed to feed into each other. So you do one village, one dam. It feeds into planting for food and jobs, which will then feed into one district, one warehouse, which will hopefully feed into one district, one factory. Okay, and then we end up, so
you have the raw material, you have the farming source, you have everything. So it's an ecosystem of every single structure you need.
Very good. Now, if you are going to kind of admit defeat on one of them, you have to calculate the impact on all the others and see whether we are just going to concede that these things just will not happen in the lifetime that we prescribed for them, and then I don't know, just accept that they are shelved for now, or what?
There's something to be said about IPEP, the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, and we termed it $1 million per constituency. To me, right from the beginning, we see big idea. Intervene and fix the most important problems in areas. I agree with it. It's important. In fact, it reached the point we isolated sanitation and water provision as the most important ones. Then it was based on that we formed those development authorities. The central one, the middle belt, whatever development authority that we had. Then we gave them 2 or 3 CEOs for various regions. Then even in communities, the idea was that we were setting up for every region a 20-member team determining the needs. But the complaint was that why do you sidestep your district assembly and create a structure that's dependent on a constituency, then now come and build a development authority structure to go and implement that with an isolated program. The perfect example of how this failed is the Odododio one that we did. You remember Jojo's report?
Yeah. But you see,
in 3 years, with 1 million per constituency, anyway, their monies were not released anyway. But they had failed boreholes. There are people in this republic who tried sinking boreholes, which failed.
But you see,
two failed.
You see, the point is that why would you even want to sidestep the District Assembly's common
fund
and create a parallel structure system that seeks to send money to these constituencies? I mean, $1 million per year for every constituency. It was certainly not necessary. One of the things we did with that was to create another bureaucracy, another centralized system that defeated our decentralization.
So it tells you that, and trust me, it's not for lack of thinking. It just tells you that nobody actually intended to solve problems with this. What they intended to do was to create the opportunity to give jobs to people, to set up a whole new bureaucracy, appoint people, give them power and access to resources, but to solve no problems. So at some point they decided to, in the 1 year that the disbursements were done, they decided to spend some of it on ambulances. Right,
which perhaps was the main thing that you can actually show for the activities.
But why do you need to build development authorities to buy ambulances?